You hear a lot of entrepreneurs who talk about selling their business. In fact, my wife just sold her law practice about 6 months ago. And, you first are excited, you're like victory lap, everything is great. And then you have this huge gaping hole. And so, I learned that I love building those systems. I love building the education. I love building the training. And that was really, I think, it's always been and always will be a formula for what I do and how I find my passion.
Yeah. And so when did you have your ChatGPT moment? What kind of clicked for you and made you go into all in on AI? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I sold, Market Creation Group, the
Yeah.
marketing firm back in 2019. Took a little bit of time off. I actually went to go work full time as a chief marketing officer for a healthcare technology company, but it was a challenging company and it's no longer around. And to be honest, I forgot how bad of an employee I actually am. And so, I decided to really double down on being a
Yeah.
fractional CMO.
Yeah.
And so I was getting to the point where I was getting busy and I was adding on more fractional CMOs to my company. And this is the company that you mentioned in the introduction, Grow Powered. And as I started to, need to build and scale and put in those systems, I really didn't want to have to go through all the same heartaches and pains that I did with my previous agency. Our revenue was not as consistent as our expenses. And that's always tough for business owners. There was a lot of people management and a lot of personality management, especially in marketing. We are all prima donnas and think that we're the greatest things to slice bread. And so I was really scratching my head saying, well, how can I continue to grow without, dealing with a lot of the pains that I ran into before? And that was around November of 2023 when we all got our hands on ChatGPT for the first
Yeah.
time. And I was like, holy cow, like this can not only, replace some systems and create automated systems and make things faster, but I have, the downside of being entrepreneurial is I'm scattered in my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And my aha moment was, wow, I can take my scattered thoughts and get them into something more
Yeah.
organized so that other people can more easily understand the systems I'm looking to create without having to read my mind. And that being a measure of success or failure of people, being able to have premonitions
Yeah.
and read my mind about what I knew what I was doing. So that was my moment. And when that clicked for me, growth started to scale up without having a lot of the heartaches that I had in my previous agency.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that with our clients, like kind of once that light bulb goes on about AI and they start to see it everywhere, and they're like, how can we implement this? How can we harness this? Sometimes it does happen faster than, leadership expects, adaption or using it or how organization will use it.